How's it going, film TV fans? Welcome back to the Mission Impossible reviewed series. Today we're looking at the 5th installment in the Mission Impossible franchise, released in 2015, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. The first to be directed by Christopher McQuarrie, first and only to be scored by Joe Kramer. Yeah, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Now, this was always a favourite of mine. Now, I actually remember this is the first one I remember seeing in cinemas. I remember watching this one on Fallout in cinemas. Seeing Dead Reckoning Part 2 when they come out in a few years' time, but this was the first one I remember seeing in cinemas. And it also, I think it's very important to remember that this movie, and it's also sentiment when talking about the other movies I mentioned, but of which I've only spoke about one, maybe two. It's very important to remember that this movie came out in 2015, a year which was full of spy-esque movies. This was one of them. Another one was Kingsman. There was The Man from U.N.C.L.E., but of course the one that I remembered the most from 2015 was of course Spectre. So in a year full of multiple different spy movies, all made in such different ways, whereas The Man of U.N.C.L.E. was very much like the classic Bond films, that kind of thing, whereas Mission Impossible is obviously, Mission Impossible. Kingsman is a light-hearted take on it, but I think out of all of those movies, this is the best one. Yes, I am saying I do prefer this movie to Spectre, because this movie has a great story. I think out of all the missions, this one has the best story, I think. Which, when you look at how the story has been in the previous few, it's interesting, but this also has some of the best action stunts as well. And again, it was this revisiting of this movie that was making me think, do I think this one is better than Ghost Protocol? And honestly, it's still 50-50. The way I see that movie, each movie, it could change genuinely day to day, and I think that's the most important thing. Although when it will come to doing that Mission Impossible rank video, which will be literally on what day is today? Thursday. So Saturday, Sunday time. I will definitely be heavily considering how I will structure that one, because again, for me, it goes between movie to movie. Honestly, those two can change the most. I think yeah, it's really hard, because when I'm looking up the Mission Impossible in the ranks, the way I rank them all, they're all really good movies except the second one. And with this 4K set, I'm happy I own them all, but I'm more likely to go back and visit the first one, the third one, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Fallout. But unless I really am bored out of my mind, I'm not likely to revisit the second one anytime soon. But again, that's away from this. I think, again, like I said, I remember seeing this one in the cinemas in 2015 and loving every second of it. I think this one gives Benji the most stuff to do, and that's, I think, the funness about it. The introduction of Ilsa Faust and Solomon Lane. I think Solomon Lane is one of the best villains this franchise has ever had. He's definitely much more of a villain than the villain in Ghost Protocol. Obviously, the talents of Giacchino are sorely missed here, but Joe Kramer does actually a really fucking good job on this movie. What I mean, the music from this specific film, while not perfect, is actually, definitely far better than what Zimmer gave for the second one. But hey, well, he just gives quite an interesting selection, I think, genuinely, and it is just... Listen, Rogue Nation is one that I have always enjoyed. I really like the opening sequence. I think it has some of the best action sequences of the franchise, much like Ghost Protocol. And again, I think it is very much neck and neck with Ghost Protocol most days. Again, I do really like Ilsa Faust, and I like Solomon Lane as well. Ilsa's an interesting character because she's played interestingly. I think Brandt has a lot. Jeremy Renner's character has a lot to do here, but you know, as if you don't know, Jeremy Renner's character had a short 2-movie stint between Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation, and he has not been in one since, and as far as I'm aware is not scheduled to be in Dead Reckoning or Dead Reckoning Part 2, and he wasn't in the subsequently made Fallout, so again, the plane sequence at the beginning of the film is really fucking good. I like the whole thing of the IMF being dissolved. I think it's quite original for this series, something that's not been done before, and you know, well, most missions he's still working for IMF, and but this one he's kind of on his own for the most part until the very, very, very end, but even then. Yeah, I mean, this franchise has come a long way since 1996, and obviously a year after this movie came out, the franchise was, you know, nearly 20 years old at that point, and that in itself is something to realise, that 20-year-old franchise that's only had 6 movies in 20 years, well, at that point it was 5 movies in 20 years, goes to show how much they took. They believed that they waited for the films to be quality enough to make them, you know, they're not pumping them out 2 years later, although, you know, that's the thing. That's what I can respect about this franchise, is that they take the time to make sure everyone is as good. And I think this is one of the few franchises where, yeah, pretty much every one of these movies is incredibly watchable, incredibly fun, and really just great cinema. Obviously, like I said, there is the exceptions to that, all being Mission Impossible 2. But if you take that one out of the occasion and you pretend that the third one is actually the second one, and then so on and so forth, yeah, this franchise is one of my favourites. I've always loved this entire franchise. You know, even the second one has its moments, and you know, obviously talking more about that tomorrow when it comes to the finale of this franchise so far. But Rogue Nation is one that I, you know, it's always been one of my favourites. I remember having so much memory of it being the first one seeing on the big screen was quite an interesting thing, and obviously the year it came out being another better thing. But I think obviously it just goes to show how, you know, awesome Tom Cruise is. And there's a line in this movie where someone plays the character Benji Dunn, says, "One of these days you're going to go too far," and I think that's not him saying that to the character, that's genuinely him telling Tom Cruise, one of these days you're going to go too far. And obviously in the next film he does break something in real life, so, but we'll get to that when we get to Fallout. Thanks so much for watching my review of Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Again, tied for top place for me. I will, you know, it's hard to think which one I prefer. So yeah, thanks so much for watching my review of Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Like I said, we got the rest of the Mission Impossible franchise, well, the final finale installment in the Mission Impossible franchise for now, and our review series, Fallout, tomorrow. I look forward to talking about that movie. tomorrow. Again, another one I remember very much. And it does just make you think how much further is he going to push himself till he actually fucking kills himself. But thanks so much for watching my review of Mission Impossible Nation. See you tomorrow for Mission Impossible Fallout. Yeah, Thorpe Deluxe is dropping on the 20th, as you'll see in just 1 second. The single Flying Fish is now available, so go stream the fuck out of that, please. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Go stream that stuff. Go, you know, go absolutely positively mental, yeah? And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.